closer in time.
A now towering mockumentary imprinted into the chronicles of cinema, This Is Spinal Tap did not emerge as a self-contained artifact of filmcraft, but rather as an evolutionary milestone with intersecting creative timelines. A few years prior to the movie, Harry Shearer and Michael McKean joined the established American satirical group The Credibility Gap, with a history of live performances and a radio presence.
Well, Kosinski says, Tom, that the pyramids, Egyptian pyramids as well as Mexican and Aztec pyramids, all pyramids were constructed here by visitors from outer space, so that they would always have a place to eat when they were on this planet.
The first question would occur to me about this luncheonette from outer space, whatever you want to call it.
Why not?
Were people sitting in there ordering from menus, sir, or was it being done cafeteria style?
McKean, along with David L. Lander, concurrently performed at the Pitchell Players Cabaret in Los Angeles and ended up landing roles playing Lenny and Squiggy on the successful TV show Laverne and Shirley, where the two comprised the in-universe band Lenny and the Squigtones.
I want you to sit down, relax, and dance to the rhythmic music of Lenny and the Squigtone.
I'm Lenny.
And I'm the Squigtone.
And that's Max.
This song is called Night After Night, and it's about 2 nights in a row.
Throughout, McKean had long been friends and intermittent bandmates with Christopher Guest since their meeting at New York University while each were earning their Master of Fine Arts degree. About 5 years prior to the release of This Is Spinal Tap, Guest made an appearance alongside regular Rob Reiner in an episode of the successful TV show All in the Family, and later played guitar on the album Lenny and Squiggy Present Lenny and the Squigtones, and the same year as the album's release, McKean, Guest, Shearer, and Reiner teamed on the sketch show pilot, The TV Show. It was here the fictional band Spinal Tap was born.
Are you ready to rock and roll? We got a great show for you tonight. From Scotland, making their first U.S. appearance, Sits Bad. From Cleveland, Ohio, we got Louisville. From New Zealand, the band that played on the first Meatloaf demo, Jumbo Prawns. Plus a special film tribute to Wilma Rudolph. And now, from England, have mercy, you gonna love them to death, Spinal Tap.
With a very Spartan budget of $2 million, this core troupe would immerse themselves with an outstanding extended cast to shape one of the most memorable and quotable films of all time.
The first drummer was
the Peeper.
John Stumpy Pepys.
Oh, yeah.
Great, tall, blonde geek with glasses.
Yeah. Good drummer.
Great look, good drummer.
Good drummer.
Fine.
What happened to him?
He died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident some years back.
It's really one of those things. It was, the authorities said, best leave it,
It's not
unsolved, really,
Child.
And what happened to Stumpy Joe?
Well, it's not a very pleasant story, but
He's passed on.
he died. He choked on. The official explanation was he choked on vomit.
It was actually someone else's vomit. It was not.
Ugly.
Now, during the Flower People period, who was your drummer?
Stumpy's replacement, Peter James Bond. He also died in mysterious circumstance.
And it was tragic, really. He exploded on stage.
Just like that.
He just went up.
He just was like a flash of green light, and that was it. Nothing was left.
Look at his face.
Well, there was.
It's true. This
true.
really did happen.
There was a little green globule on his drum seat.
Oh, there's the other thing is that the Boston gig has been cancelled.
What?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it though. It's not a big college town. The company is rather down on the cover. Is that the case?
Yes. Ian,
what's
you
offensive about
put a greased, naked woman
Yes.
on all fours
Yes.
with a dog collar
With a dog
around her
collar.
neck and a leash.
And a leash.
And a man's arm extended out up to here, holding on to the leash and pushing a black glove in her face to sniff it. You don't find that offensive?
No,
You don't
I don't.
find that sexist?
This is 1982,
That's
Bobby,
right,
come
it's
on.
1982. Get out of the 60s. We don't have this mentality anymore.
Well, you should have
Listen
seen
to
the
me.
cover they wanted to do.
I don't
It
care
wasn't
what
a
they
glove,
want.
believe me.
See, now this is something, Ian, that you're going to
because they have decided that the cover is sexist.
Well, so what? Yeah. But what's wrong with being sexy? I mean, there's no...
Sexist.
Oh, this is terribly depressing.
Well, it really puts perspective on things, though, doesn't it?
No, too much. There's too much
yeah,
fucking perspective now.
I do not for one think that the problem was that the band was down. I think that the problem may have been that there was a Stonehenge monument on the stage that was in danger of being crushed by a dwarf.
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly. One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
The screening of Spinal Tap 2 at the Sherman Oaks Galleria. One key aspect of the plotline of this highly anticipated Spinal Tap sequel, at least what we know of it at the making of this video, truly highlights the class and vision of the writers Reiner, McKean, Shearer, and Guest. Tony Hendra, the mastermind behind the character Ian Faith, the band's manager, sadly passed away a few years ago. Instead of reprising his role with another actor, which simply could not make any sort of sense, they worked his passing into the script, in a sense. In the storyline, Ian Faith has died, and his widow discovers a contract in which the band commits to playing one more show. The movie chronicles Marty DiBergi's chronicling of the band's fated reformation to fulfill their end of the deal. In one of history's most fortunate accidents, upon returning from vacation, Scottish bacteriologist Alexander Fleming noticed a mold, Penicillium notidum, contaminating some Petri dishes he had inadvertently left exposed. In an act of microbial turf warfare, the mold secreted a substance that killed surrounding bacteria. Difficult to isolate and produce in quantity, this substance, named penicillin, remained a curiosity for several years. 11 years after the discovery, we Homo sapiens would partake in our own unique brand of turf warfare, World War II. With penicillin's efficacy and potential finally established in human subjects, the heavy casualties created an urgent need for mass production. 2 years into the war, American scientists at Peoria's Northern Regional Research Laboratory, in close collaboration with their British counterparts, pioneered the use of deep tank fermentation to cultivate penicillin on an industrial scale. Shortly after, about 17 years after Fleming's original discovery, Pfizer opened the first commercial penicillin production plant in Brooklyn, New York. The release of This Is Spinal Tap is closer in time to the emergence of commercial antibiotics than it is to the Galleria screening of its sequel, Spinal Tap 2, by 162 days. The first Spinal Tap. Long before the fictional rock band borrowed the name, Dr. Heinrich Quincke performed the first actual Spinal Tap, though he originally called it a lumbar puncture back then. Unlike the tap that couldn't find the stage,
No, it's not an exit. It's not an exit. We don't want an exit. Well, that's true.
this tap went straight and deep into the lower spine, a seriously risky procedure that would ultimately become a life-saving diagnostic. Up until 50 or so years ago, a particular version of the Spinal Tap procedure used for a myelogram was notoriously painful, which might well have inspired the original selection of the band's name. The release of This Is Spinal Tap is closer in time to the Galleria screening of Spinal Tap 2 than the first known surgical spinal tap was to commercial antibiotics, by about 13 years.